Leafs Nation, we've got for you a man who needs no introduction. Most people know him as the human eraser, but his family calls him Luke Schenn. Luke, thanks for joining us. How you doing?
Hey, who knows if my family calls me that or not? You never know, Dozer.
Who knows what Jesse's calling you behind the scenes, eh?
Great to be on with you boys. How we doing?
Hey, we're good, man. We wanted to catch up with you. Obviously, you had your second tour around the sun in Toronto. Didn't work out with them for the re-sign. You find yourselves in Nashville right now. We got to ask you, how's the season going down south?
I mean, personally, it was a bit of a tough start. I got injured, right after the first game there, and missed about 7 weeks with a knee injury, and came back. And it's obviously a little bit tricky getting caught up to speed, but we're getting there, and the team's kind of in the mix. I mean, we didn't get off to the greatest start, and we're hanging around games and even had some leads in games, but couldn't close them out and kind of dropping some points. But as of late, the boys have been playing a lot better and kind of climbed their way back in the mix. And it's real tight in our division, and obviously conference fighting for wild card and that sort of thing. So every game is meaningful, but guys are fighting hard, and like I said, we're hanging around right now, which is good, and kind of getting better as we go here with a pretty young group.
Shannon, the most important question I'll ask you in this interview, being a foodie, excuse me, how's Nashville like for that, for the eats?
It's good. It's good. I mean, coming here, like, even, when I first started 15, 16 years ago, man, oh man, has the city changed. Like, just coming downtown to Broadway, there was not a lot going on. I think there was even one hotel. I remember we stayed at the Hilton right across the street from Bridgestone, and
Yeah.
now there's tons of hotels and restaurants. And I mean, you go down there and you go down there on the weekend, you can't even walk on the sidewalk. It's just shoulder to shoulder. It's crazy down here, and it's a hot spot to be, and the food seems no different. So definitely getting out here and there with some guys and couples off the team, and it's been great so far.
I can imagine you using that Peloton behind you to work off some Desi after some barbecue down there.
Oh
Hey,
yeah, buddy.
I believe it. Hey, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about after the season last year. Obviously, you got a chance to win a series with the Toronto Maple Leafs, which not a lot of men have done in the last many years. You got that choice and didn't work out. How is the contract negotiations going on? Were you talking mostly to Dubas, or did you let your agent handle things? And was Shanahan involved in this? We're curious about what's going on behind the scenes.
Well, I mean, obviously, things happen right after the year, and you lose out in a tough series to Florida. So you, like, every year, and you have your year-end meeting, and yeah, I met with Kyle and his staff, and obviously there's talk about coming back, depending what was going to happen on his situation. And at the end of the day, I mean, this game, we all know it. It's the game we all love, but in reality, it's business. So I mean, you're talking to one guy who you know thought was going to be in charge, and we all did, and then things changed, and then yeah, Tree came in and had some good conversations with him too. And yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, everyone wanted to make it work, and there's no secret. I was started in Toronto and absolutely loved it there, and got a chance second time around, which was you know kind of like a dream come true in a way, to get another chance to come back and play there and get the chance to play in playoffs. But in reality, I mean, they're tight against the cap, and business side of things unfortunately kind of came into it. And in saying that, I'm real happy to be in Nashville too. I mean, Nashville is one of those places I've always loved coming to on the road. Probably my favorite city, in the entire league as far as visiting. And good up and coming team here. I got some good solid buddies who I played with in the past, like Ryan McDonough and O'Reilly and Tyson Berry, and a couple other good guys, and I've known Barry Trotz for a long time. So yeah, like I said, Toronto, I loved it there. But like I said, business kind of gets in the way with the salary cap. It was a flat cap, and obviously they got some big boys to take care of there up front. So yeah, that's kind of the way things shook out.
I've poisoned Rosie pretty quickly. Did you notice that with the tough questions? Like last year when I interviewed you, you were looking at me like, wow, this guy's coming out gunslinging. But then we interviewed O'Reilly, and like second question, like you do an interview, it's like a buffer zone. The first couple of questions, you smooth the guy over.
Yeah,
Rosie's
yeah.
right into it, man. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
no small talk, no chit chat. We get to the hard hitting questions, but I know they're not hard hitting for you, Luke, because you played yourself right out of Toronto, man. You came there on a budget, played yourself, showed yourself. you were the guy on the back end there, and they just couldn't afford you with their cap situation. So I think Leafs Nation understands, and you're not the bad guy in this interview. You're not.
No.
Nick
Yeah,
is.
no, I mean, honestly, coming there the second time around, I mean, it was weird coming there. I don't know if there was like mixed reaction and kind of coming back. Obviously, I was there as a really young player, and had some growing pains. To say the least. I had some great times there, and then some times where, things kind of, weren't some adversity, I guess, put it that way. Which at the end of the day, I'm grateful for all the adversity I faced in the NHL. But coming there the second time around, I was actually feeling pretty confident coming in. I know there's a lot of outside opinions, but just kind of what I gone through in my career as far as being sent down before, being out of lineups on other teams and kind of getting bounced around to being at the top, winning. I kind of came in with just a good mindset and really wanted to enjoy it, and it worked out great. And like I said, I mean, got the chance to win a playoff series there, and which was incredible. I never got the chance to play, playoff hockey in Toronto, so that was something I'll never forget. And like I said, I enjoy every bit of Toronto. And at the end of the day, too, the fan base has always been so good to me. Like I said, even through those ups and downs, always feel appreciated there at the end of the day. And it was a great spot.
Spill the tea. How close were you to re-signing with this team? Like, I would love a behind the scenes look at how things went down. Nash signing a Nash. See, now I'm coming with the hard ones now.
Well, when you come to Nashville for a beer, maybe we can break it down behind the scenes.
Fine.
Jay came and met me for a couple of beers at the Bluebird Nashville, so we broke it down a little bit there. But Jay, you understand Nashville, you get it, right?
Well, I think I introduced you to the Bluebird Cafe, did I not?
You did, in fact. You did.
Where's
in fact.
that?
I was living actually right around the corner, renting there in Green Hills, which is off Broadway there. And Jay told me it was the toughest ticket to get in town, and said he was on the waiting list for two months. And he goes, "Well, I'm going there tomorrow night." And so, if you could meet us, that'd be great. But odds of you getting a ticket aren't great. And showed up there, the next night and said, "Jay, let's have a beer." And that's the way it shook out. And then where did you go after? You went and saw who after that? You snuck up, but who'd you go see after that? You went somewhere else, right?
Yeah, that night we went to Vance Joy down at the original Grand Ole Opry. That was pretty wicked. And don't get it wrong, Luke, you were kicking rocks in the parking lot. No one knew who you were at that point. I told them I scrapped McGrattan Center Ice a couple of years back, and the doors just opened for you, bud. So enjoy that one. That one's on me. But the Bluebird
That's
Cafe.
Exactly how it shook out. Exactly. At the end of the day, you showed up in town, and I got myself into places I never dreamed of.
Buddy, you are the hookup master. I do know that. I remember when you were playing in Toronto, there was side deals galore. Dealerships were throwing cars at you. It was a nice place to be. But yeah, the differences between playing in a huge market team like Toronto and maybe a little bit more relaxed. What are some of the differences? I know obviously there's some pros and cons to both of them, but what adjustments do you make? What do you notice going from one market to the other?
Well, obviously, huge differences. You get off the ice from a morning skate, especially like a Saturday night game or I guess playoff game in Toronto, and you can't even get to your stall because there's so many media in the room. But it kind of was funny how it worked out at the end. I feel like I knew every media member by first name and would always talk to them. Not even sometimes about hockey, but just how's work going, how's your family, and it was kind of almost personal. So that never ever bothered me. I know a lot of guys don't love the maybe the extra sort of spotlight and scrutiny, I guess, that you'd be under, but I really didn't mind it the first time I was there or the last time. I mean, it just kind of goes with the territory. And here, obviously, I might have done one or two interviews the entire year so far. So Toronto, you get that, in a weekend. So yeah, it's a little bit different, obviously, on that level. And just from, for example, like going to my son's hockey practice, you go to hockey and you're just kind of a hockey dad, and no one really even asks about how the team's doing or the games or the schedule up and coming. Where I did that in Vancouver and Toronto, being in a Canadian market, and it's pretty much the polar opposite, where you go there, you're with your son, and you're kind of just nonstop talking about the team, right? So a little bit different on that scale. I it's kind of cool to get both perspective and see both sides of it, where it's nonstop, you don't get away, and then here it's like, does anyone even know what's going on? So, but in saying that, no one says anything to you outside the rink, but you show up to the rink and there's sold out building every single game here, and the building's rocking, and obviously that has a lot to do with, you know, the history of it, but you know, the location of the arena, and people are looking to come down here and see a game and party right when the game ends or before the game. So it's kind of a crazy situation where, you know, people are loving it, but you know, no one's really paying attention outside of it.
I think you
Yeah.
made a great decision, obviously financially, but like that market is incredible. Like, who are you dealing with on a daily basis? Like Chris Mason, Hal Gill, Lindsey Raleigh. Like, that's about it, right? Like, I remember way back when I went to Nashville and I got a media pass, and I walked right up to Shea Weber. Like, good luck trying to walk up to Austin Matthews in Toronto, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, yeah, like the media team, obviously, and it's funny. Like I played with, you know, Chris Mason. We were talking about the other day on the plane. I think I played with him like 2008 or 2009 World Championships in Switzerland. So I played with him. Rosie and I played with Hal in Philly that one
Yeah.
year. So, you know, these are kind of just ex teammates you play with, and then yeah, they got a couple other media members, and yeah, nothing's hard hitting. There's usually a couple numbers on the board after a game, and not like Toronto where it's like, you know, or Vancouver or whatever, where you're kind of always in it. But like I said, that didn't bother me at all. It's just totally different, and another side of the spectrum where, you know, I've dealt with that in the past too. You know, you play in markets like Arizona or Tampa a little bit, and then other markets like Toronto and Philly and Vancouver. So kind of seen both sides of it. And you know, one's probably not better than the other. It's just different. That's the best way to explain it. It's just very different.
This is arguably the hardest interview you're going to have to do this season. What do you think Saturday is going to be like? I think we talk about it way too much on this show, but video tributes. Do you think you're worthy of like a second video tribute here? What do you think that return is going to be like?
I don't even know if I got the first one. I don't know. No,
Really?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I couldn't remember. I mean, yeah, video tributes, they're man, oh man.
It's getting ridiculous, right? It's getting a bit ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, video tributes. I mean, like back in the day, I played in the game where Matt Sundin first returned to Toronto. You know, when he's in Vancouver, and like that's a video tribute you got to see. Or you know, a guy who spent a really long time there, like you know, Curtis Joseph or guys like that. I mean, everyone gets one, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was there. It was a short stint the second time around, but it was a really good stint if that makes any sense as far as, you know, being with the team at the best time of year down the stretch, fighting for playoff positioning, and then, you know, playing in the playoffs against Tampa in that first round, second round too, like that. It was just an unbelievable time to play there, and kind of always dreamt of getting the second chance to do it. Not sure if probably didn't think it'd ever become reality, especially you know, the way my career was trending in certain spots. But you know, to get the chance to do it again, it's I loved every bit of it, and like I said, I love the whole fan base and media. Everyone was great to me. So who knows? I'm looking forward to going back though. Always do. So.
Hey, Schenn, in real time, did you have any clue that Ryan O'Reilly was signing in Nashville too?
No. I mean, we talked. Like he's really close with Braden. You know, obviously playing together in St. Louis for a while there, and then you know, we kind of went our separate ways after the season ended. He obviously hangs out. Well, I think he went back to St. Louis to go pack up and stuff after the year ended in Toronto. Went back there for a bit and had his kids in school, and I went back to Kelowna, and then, you know, we kept in touch a little bit. We actually connected on Tyson Berry's bachelor party. So we chatted there, kind of, you know, lay the land, see where things were at, and kind of, you know, you talk a little bit, but you don't share too much. Just kind of, you know, business is, you know, usually between you and your agent. Obviously, discuss certain situations, but we both didn't really know, just because so much was changing, obviously, in you know, Toronto, just with Tree Living coming in there, and obviously some contracts they had to deal with internally with guys, you know, obviously like Austin and other guys like that. So talked about it, but obviously, you know, if you're not going to sign there, there's certain other options that, you know, I guess would be on your list. So yeah, you talk about certain things, but not really in detail, and no one's showing each other their cards. But yeah, I'm pumped he ended up here, and he's been playing so good for us too. He's just the ultimate pro, great leader. He takes care of everyone around, and he's so good, you know, and gets young guys together with the old guys for dinner, and first guy on the ice for practice, last guy, just what everyone hears, it's exactly what he does. He's a true pro and been around a long time, and yeah, he's been a horse for us this year. We're lucky to have him.
Lukey, coming into the league, you've always been that tough, Sasky boy on the back end, but you had other things going on. You're a puck mover. You've had some power play time. You're a killer, a big minute muncher, and you step up when you have to. Always starting to be now where maybe it's because this league's gotten so goddamn soft, or maybe you just keep becoming more of a human eraser as you get
He
older.
is.
But you seem to be the guy that's when push comes to shove and someone needs to step up for their teammates, you're the guy that does it now more often than not. And I mean, I look at your fight with Marcus Foligno the other night, and this guy's clearly done his homework on you. He knows you're a lefty. He
The
knows you're a
block.
guy that's going to stand up. He's blocking up a storm like it's the fucking Pride Fighting Championship or something. You still pumped his eyes shut. But is it weird to be kind of in the latter part of your career on the back nine, you could say, and have to step up to that role even more than maybe you did when you were just a young buckaroo?
First of all, I mean, that was the fourth time I fought him, and he's tough. I'm not.
Not that many times, eh?
Yeah, and his brother twice, Nick twice too. I don't know, some of those Foligno boys. No, they're. But the thing is, like, they're great guys. Like, every time you fight these guys, like, they're, you know, hey, giving you a wink in the penalty box, ask how you're doing. Like, you can just tell they're unbelievable guys, and obviously mutual connections and stuff like that. But no, I mean, I think it's just like anything else. I mean, probably like you too. I mean, the more you do it, you probably get a little more confident in it, and
Yeah.
so sometimes you get into it, and it's your heart rate almost slows down, if that makes sense. Like, before, you're a little bit nervous and you got adrenaline going into it. That's how I feel anyways. Like, sometimes I'm like, okay, well, now might be a good time in the game to step up here if the team's kind of in one a little bit and we need try to get them a little momentum swing, or if someone gets hit, your adrenaline spikes for a second. But in the midst of it, I feel like I'm always kind of slowing down a little bit and got a little bit more of a, I don't know, strategy or game plan, or a bit more of an idea, I guess, of what to do. And at the end of the day, I mean, I don't claim to be the toughest guy or the most technical guy. I don't really take lessons, or just kind of figure it out as you go in. But yeah,
You're giving me goosebumps just talking about it nonetheless, man. I love what you do out there, human.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Hey, in fairness, like, you can switch like no other. I don't got that one under my belt. I mean, I let the cat out of the bag here, but you could switch back and forth. Like, it was insane watching you fight mid-fight, and I'm like, you don't even know what's coming left or right. I mean, most guys are a little more predictable. So yeah, obviously it doesn't happen like that too much anymore, where you got guys who are that good and that technical. But there's some big boys there. Obviously there's some bigger boys in the league, like obviously Rebo and McDermott comes to mind, and Deloria and stuff like that. But there's some big boys out there. It's not like it once was, but there's still some guys who know what they're doing, and it's still part of the game. No matter what anyone says, I think our team in particular, I think McCarron's probably gotten 3 or 4 this year. Jeremy Lazon's gotten probably 4. I'm trying to think who else. Like, Kiefer Sherwood's gotten a couple. Like, no matter what, like, there's still a need for it, for sure. And our team, I think, is still backing it up, and you need to, in my opinion. So yeah, it's one of those things that I don't expect it to ever calm down and go away. But yeah, it's nice to get one every once in a while, as you know.
Rosie, I'm surprised you haven't gone on a tangent yet about the Maple Leafs, how they should do more of that and how they're fucking soft as shit. So maybe next time we interview Schenn, we can talk about that.
Yeah, we'll touch on it then. I think he knows full well we don't need to beat a dead horse.
I haven't heard you go off on that in a while. So, I mean, yeah,
I think I might have said something about Mitch Marner is more interested in wondering where he left his Coachella hat this morning on the show. So
hey, I'd put Mitchie on my team all day, every day. That guy's the best. I love him. He's I don't know, he plays, in my opinion, like the right way, PK, PP, and puts up a ton of points. And how many forwards do you see log 23 minutes a night? Like, he does it all. He's and he's an unbelievable guy.
I just want to leave you with this. I know you've been tracking our YouTube progression at the Leafs Nation 401, as you just brought up. Bruce Boudreau actually filled in as my co-host on Friday and Monday. And I tell you, Rosie's job is in jeopardy, man. Big time jeopardy.
Bruce is I love Bruce. He's he came in obviously halfway through the year in a tough situation in Vancouver as far as where the team was at. And he's just like a happy-go-lucky guy at the rink. And I mean, he's just so approachable and easy to talk to. And, he'll call you into his office and you're thinking, you're going to start talking about hockey or whatever. Next thing you know, you're in his office for half an hour just talking about everything else besides your own game. And yeah, he's just, there's a reason why he's been around a long time, and players who play for him got a ton of respect for him. So, obviously, like I said, it's one of those things. The business is the business side of things, but on a personal note, Bruce is an unbelievable guy, and he helped me out a lot in my career, and gave me a great opportunity. And yeah, I see him do a lot of media these days. He's definitely staying in the mix for sure.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.